I'd like to address my question to Mr. Greenblatt and follow up on what one of my colleagues just mentioned a few minutes ago. As he mentioned, we've seen the photos of insurrectionists in the Capitol who are wearing sweatshirts that say Camp Auschwitz, 6 MWE, 6 million wasn't enough, which are just reprehensible to myself as a Jewish American, but I would assume to everyone who is watching and listening to this today. And I would like to just spend a little bit of time addressing in a little bit more depth some of the anti-Semitic tropes that appear frequently in these white nationalist groups and are associated with movements such as QAnon, and how we could potentially look to address these issues and what you as an organization are doing to identify these groups and threats and root out some of these tropes that have existed for a long time, that are just very clearly manifesting themselves today in the public eye.
Well, thank you very much for the question, Ms. Congresswoman. I would say a few thoughts. So number one, again, anti-Semitism is a conspiracy theory of sorts and at the core of white supremacy in this country. So it didn't just start on January the 6th. We saw this from Capitol Hill to Charlottesville. And before that, you've seen it again and again. Ms. Newman referenced the Turner Diaries. If you go back and look at white supremacist literature and philosophy, again, it is rooted in a hatred of the Jewish people. And again, it's not right or left, it's just right and wrong. And there should be no excuse for it in any public setting. In terms of what to do about it, there are a few things. Number one, I do believe, and I believe this very fiercely, that we've got to hold these white supremacists and right-wing extremists accountable for their actions. Every individual who perpetrated in that attack should be identified and arrested and prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. And we need to make sure that hate crimes are tracked effectively at the local level and their perpetrators punished, again, to the fullest extent of the law. So there's some degree of deterrence. But I also think we can't just legislate or arrest our way out of this situation. We've also got to change hearts and minds. I really applaud Congresswoman Maloney for the Never Again Education Act that was passed in the last session that mandates Holocaust and genocide education. We are doomed to repeat the mistakes of history if we don't learn from them. And so educating young people about the Holocaust and hate, all forms of hate, can have a demonstrable impact. At the ADL, we're one of the largest providers in the United States of anti-hate content in schools. We reach over 1.5 million kids a year, and we do that because we have seen the difference it makes when children learn about difference. They demonstrate more compassion, more empathy, and it can affect conditioning the environment to be more tolerant of everyone, no matter how you pray or where you're from or who you love.
Well, thank you for that additional insight and feedback, and appreciate the work that you continue to do on behalf of this important topic. And I yield back for